A long layover between flights can be an impromptu vacation or a mind-numbing marathon of CNN airport network shows. Here's my suggestions on what you should do on a long layover at O'Hare. We're at the bottom of Terminal 1. It's 9 o'clock. Find the stairs down to the CTA and follow the signs to get to the subway. We call it the L in Chicago, to head into the city. Now, if you're planning ahead for this excursion, order the CTA one-day pass online. It gives unlimited subway and bus rides, and we're going to be pretty much running the subways for a good bit of this excursion. But for some reason, they don't sell them at L stops. I don't know why. Now, if you didn't get a pass ahead of time, buy a single fare here through the fare card machine, and I'll show you later where you can buy a one-day pass. It'll be up at the first stop in Wrigleyville. We're on the blue line heading into the loop. Get off at the Clark and Lake exit to transfer to the brown line. It's not the most straightforward transfer, but follow the signs and the people. Get on the Kimball train. We're heading north over the Chicago River to our first stop, Wrigley Field. I take this to the Fullerton stop. Stay on the platform, just cross over, and transfer to the red train to Howard. Take this to the Addison stop. You'll see Wrigley Field on the left side of the train. At the exit, there's a convenience store where you can buy a one-day pass if you don't already have one. And now you're in Wrigleyville. Take a lap around the park. It's the second oldest after Fenway in Boston. If you're lucky enough to be here on game day, there's a lot going on. I would suggest a beer at one of the Wrigleyville bars, but it's only 10:30 and we got other places to go. Take the 95th Dan Ryan L heading south back down to Fullerton. Go left out of the exit. You're now heading east on Fullerton. We're going to go to my favorite Chicago hot dog place. Take a left on Orchard, walk through a nice Lincoln Park neighborhood, then take a right on Deming at St. Clement's Church till it dead ends at Clark. Take a left on Clark till you get to the Wiener Circle. Now this is a well-known place. Interesting at night. Search for it on YouTube. But you'll see it's a bit calmer at lunchtime. I always order the char Polish, a bit more flavor than a hot dog, with everything, no pickle, grilled onions. Let's cross Clark and walk down Wrightwood. With that bit of pork, garlic, and fat for fuel, we're ready to walk through Lincoln Park. Cross 2 streets and turn right. We're headed south for a bit of a nature walk along North Pond. Coming out of that nature sanctuary, we cross Fullerton and hit the Lincoln Park Conservatory. Great place to tour through or take a quick toilet break. But since it's a beautiful day and we've spent 1 to 2 hours in a metal tube getting to Chicago, let's walk through the gardens instead. Walking south out of the gardens, we hit another free attraction, the Lincoln Park Zoo. You can catch the sea lions, or maybe the snakes, but since it's just after 12 noon, I'm going to head over to Cafe Brower, sit on the patio, look over the South Pond, and enjoy a Goose Island beer. So refreshed, let's keep heading south to Old Town. At the end of the Children's Zoo, take a right across the park to Clark Street. Cross Clark and turn left on Wells. We're now walking through the north end of the Old Town neighborhood. We pass the Second City Comedy Club on our right, and then take a right on North Avenue. We'll walk along North Avenue till we hit Sedgwick. Take a left, look up, and head for the L station, where we'll take a Brown Line train back down to the Loop. We're going to truly experience the Loop, taking this train almost completely around the circle of elevated track that gives the Loop, Chicago's downtown business district, its name. It's a unique view, passing by windows at the second-story level, looking down streets. We're going to get off on the northeast side of the Loop, Randolph and Wabash, and head over to Millennium Park. But since it's after 1, let's stop at Intelligentsia, my favorite coffee place. It's on Randolph on the way to the park. Caffeinated, let's head to Michigan, get right to Washington, cross the street, and head to our first Millennium Park stop, the Twisted Metal, that is the Pritzker Pavilion. If you're lucky, there'll be an afternoon concert rehearsal. Now let's head over to another big piece of stainless steel, officially called Cloud Gate. Everyone calls it the Bean. It's neat to see the skyline reflected outside, but the crowd favorite is standing beneath it and looking up. Let's head south to one more popular fixture, the Crown Fountain. It's a popular place for kids in the summer, especially when it spits. We'll leave the park walking over Monroe Street on the Nichols Bridgeway. Looking back is just really a great view of the park and the skyline and Lake Michigan. The bridge drops us at the modern wing of the Art Institute. We'll take the escalator down. You could stop in here for a visit, but we'll head out onto Monroe Street and take a left. We then take another left, heading south now on Michigan Avenue. You might want to duck into the sculpture garden, but then pop out and take a look at the front of the Art Institute and the famous lions. Crossing Michigan at Adams, we're heading back into the Loop. Take a right on Wabash. We're now walking under the L tracks for a couple of blocks. Take a left on Madison. If you're hungry, stop off at Garrett's for the Chicago Mix popcorn. It's half caramel, half cheese. Trust me, it's that whole sweet, salty thing. We'll then continue on, take a right on Dearborn, and now we're heading up to Daley Plaza and another Chicago landmark, the Picasso Statue. Is it a baboon? Is it an Afghan hound? Who knows? Now, there's often something going on in Daley Plaza. Today, it's a farmer's market. Time to work our way back to O'Hare. We'll cross Dearborn and head downstairs to the Blue Line. We'll make one last stop at Damon in the hipster Wicker Park neighborhood to grab a bite so we can skip buying bad airplane food. There are a lot of places within a couple of blocks of the North Damon-Milwaukee intersection, but my favorite is Big Star Tacos. Built in an old auto garage, it's sort of full contact hipster, but the tacos are great. Now we get back on the L and head to O'Hare. The O'Hare L stop is right at the foot of Terminal 2. We'll head under the sister city flags for Terminal 1, arriving back 6 hours and 20 minutes after we left on our layover excursion to Chicago. I hope you enjoyed the tour. Check out the show notes at travelcommons.com for a map and detailed listings of the stop that we took on this tour.